Good evening. Here we are. Welcome to my humble abode. I've been looking forward to showing this off for a while. This is just kind of a convenient excuse because the Alan Wake doesn't come out till tomorrow. So I needed a one off, and it's we have a one off. We should probably get out of the coffin here, huh? So hi everybody. We're we're gonna play some Final Fantasy 14 tonight, and pretty much just tonight. It's a fun little deviation, but I've got some spooky dungeons planned. Uh, so it's gonna be nice and thematic. We're gonna stay in the Halloween spirit. Oh, Coca-Cola, don't look at me like that. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be nice and creepy. It's gonna be very much in keeping. We can actually get some like proper lights on. But yeah, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. I'm really just stalling for time. But see, even Arthur doesn't believe it. Let's get some actual like proper lights back on here. We don't need to maintain the vibes that much. Um, this is Meg, the Megalodon. Which it's important to make your bed. But yeah, so that's what we're doing tonight. We're just taking it easy. We're just kind of having a fun little one-off. Uh, Hello Bob. Hello Demon Goat. Hello Al. Hello to Joy. Hello to a Bad Road. Thank you all for saying hi to Meg. Um, Meg is specifically a spectral megalodon. I caught her on an ocean voyage. She glows in the dark to keep the room lit when all the lights are out, which is nice. This is Arthur. He does not glow in the dark, which is probably best for everybody. Um, I haven't given a name to the giant goldfish. I should probably work on that. I'm sure they'll tell me their name when they're ready. This is also Blinky. Lots of things in here have names. It's important to name your stuff, or to find out what its name is if it already has one. I do appreciate that Blinky just occasionally emotes at us. That's always nice. But yeah, I've gotten neatly in costume. This isn't just Coca-Cola's walking around wear, although it's not all that far, because normal like aesthetic is sort of comfort goth. So this isn't that much of a deviation. That's she's already Halloween adjacent. Uh, but this is I figured it was we're a week out, a little less than a week out. I figured we'd go ahead and dress up a bit for it. And I've got some dungeons in mind. There are actually, as it turned out, when I started thinking about what sort of content we should run tonight to keep it nice and kind of Halloween themed, Final Fantasy XIV has a not really a I wouldn't say a shortage of a very Halloweeny kind of haunted-ish things. Um, it's not exactly like I wouldn't call it. It certainly wouldn't be considered what I would call a horror game, and yet, there's enough that I think we're gonna have no problem at all filling a stream. We could probably fill a couple. We won't have to because this is probably gonna be a one-off. But yeah, we have a lot to choose from. Hi, Blinky. Yeah, which is why we should not skip this short but still important brief walk down to the nice content warnings. The dungeons that we're gonna run, depending on which ones we get, will include blood, falling, one of them at least, a pretty severe fall for one of them, kidnapping if it's the same one, and one of the ones towards the end of the night does have a mechanic that involves projectile vomit. So I wanted to call that one out now, and I'll be able to call it out closer to when it happens as well. But I wanted to do, usual content warnings on these. This one's a little bit lighter, obviously, than the Rusty Lake games that we've been doing, so it shouldn't be too bad compared to some of the other stuff that we've been doing. So, Arthur, I will need my other hand because I can't play Astrologian one-handed. Of the healing jobs, it's probably the most complicated, so gonna need both hands on the keyboard for this one. Thanks, bud. Yeah, all right. So speaking of Namazu, 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 good to see you all. I did briefly consider when I found out that the game has a cat tree for furniture in the game. I briefly considered trying to like construct a simulacrum in the apartment to match our like streaming setup, because there's a partition that looks a lot like the real life partition we've got here, and I'm like, I can make like a desk and like a thing. But then I remembered the dollhouse rule, and if you ever watched a horror movie, you know that you don't make a dollhouse of a place and then keep it inside the house that it's a simulacrum of. That's a no-no, because then the dolls start like moving on their own. That's just, it's bad. Don't do it. So no, this is a legally distinct cat house. It's not that one. It's its own one, and that's why there are little catfish on it. Don't worry about it. But I thought about it. I really thought about making just a little streamer setup and having Coco just sit in front of it, which would have been a hilarious little like Matryoshka dolls, nesting dolls. It's the fact that the game has enough stuff that I could have done it. The furniture market in this game is ridiculous, honestly. It's just, it's goofy, the amount of stuff you can do. Alright, anyway, that's all beside the point. That's not what we're here for. What we're here for is the scary stuff. So, we resemble but are legally distinct from the streaming room, exactly. Alright, now the first one, Hawk Manor, like the original haunted house in the game. Absolutely have to have that. Ooh, we should have Wanderer's Palace. For those who are not familiar with Final Fantasy XIV, Wanderer's Palace is essentially... It's got a mechanic that's basically Resident Evil 2's Nemesis, but with the Tonberry, which are the big lizard guys with the knife, but like 20 feet tall. If we run it, you'll see it. It's great. It's haunting. Oh, hey, Bedrod. Honestly, yeah, just do your own thing. I think I'm gonna just run these and queue them, and we'll see what happens. Hawk Manor Hard, probably a mistake. Lost City of Amdapor is creepy, but what's more creepy is trying to get groups to do the doors correctly, and that's probably a bad idea. Tam Tower Deepcroft Hard. That, whew, heh. Kind of hope we get this one. We're gonna queue up for a bunch of stuff, and we're just gonna let the cards fall where they may. Is that the expression? I don't know. We'll see. But often to play, but I have to shower. Enjoy. Hope it is a good and rewarding shower. Hang on, let me see. Was that? Enjoy, Alice. All right. Stone Vigil. All right. The rest of these, not so much on that level. What's the next good? Ooh, here we go. How about a ghost ship? That's good. A good, nice haunted ship. Be solid. I think that's probably as much as we can get on the like scary dungeons. Some of these are like, they're ruins and things have moved into the ruins, and that's like a little scary, but it's not on the same level, I don't think. What about trials? So dungeons in the context of the game are the more involved things. Trials is like one big boss fight. I don't think we fight like a ghost, which would be cool. Oh, wait. I know. This one. I'm not even going to describe it. I don't think we'll get it. But if we do, it'll be hilarious. Alright, let's see what we get. Alright. Nemesis it is. Thank you, Edward. Deepcroft Hard, not deep crop fart. A deep crop fart. Wow. I'm glad they're giving lizards knives now. Yeah, you're gonna get to see this one pretty quick. So that's a regular sized Tonberry that we just saw scuttling away with its lantern. We'll say hi to our random friends here. Completely forgot how to play. Oh, this will be lovely. Alright, we'll get a card. A monk, a bard, a paladin. Alright. Got a good spread. I love that they've added portraits to the game so everybody can, like, put their best front forward. So the story of the Wanderer's Palace is some treasure hunters have broken into the fallen city of Nim and are beating up on the Tonberries that inhabit the place. Tonberries, in most Final Fantasy games, are kind of scary critters. Usually they instantly kill whole parties. In this case, they're actually kind of sympathetic critters, at least until the big one gets here. Let's go ahead and get you some health. Where's the big one? I don't want to miss the nemesis when it gets here. Also don't want to forget to heal the tank. Priorities. No. Not what I want. Oh, that's what I want. Hooray! Gravity! Hit every... Oh, hang on. Here. Hit every... Oh, there's just one of you. Getting out of the bushes? Where's the big one? Still not here. Crap. Don't mind me, just hitting all the wrong buttons. It's very kind of that bard to wait on me. They don't know I'm streaming. Oh, let's get out of that. Okay, there we go. Just got the notice, do not allow the Tonberry Stalker to catch you. So it's been unleashed, which means it's just finished off the treasure hunters that were bullying its tiny buddies. It's scary, but it's actually a friend. Just not to us. Oh, good. Oh, are they coming back? All right. We may have to see it a little bit later. Okay, we won't see it this round. We'll see the nemesis a little later. First, we have to deal with this Gubu. And its boar habits. Crap, crap. Vulnerability off of you, friend. Love the long, stretchy arms. It's attacking us with snot. Whoop! Not again. You. That off of you. Here we're fighting kiloton berries. Oh, that's very good. Now we have to be the bullies. Sadly, we have to beat up the tonberries to get their lantern oil. Whoop, in order to progress. Whoop. Oh, tank. Oh, tank. I don't want that. I do want that. Ah! Trying not to stand in any of the pizza slices. Hooray! Lantern oil. Delicious. We use the oil on the rusted wheels to be able to operate the old gears. Better than hecaton berries. I mean, yeah. That's what the Gubu do. It's true. Rusted device. So we have to operate all of the Nimian devices. Thank you, Bob. Which means we've got to basically loop this very large room that we're in. Which may be the first time that we'll get to see our large nemesis friend. Jack's taking care of that. Gravity. Go. Where's the big one? There's the big one. So this large shadow with the lantern here is the nemesis. Ow! Who just stabbed me real good. There's another one. There are several that are just slowly patrolling this room. There's no way for tanks to grab aggro on them. There's no way for us to affect them or kill them in any way. They just slowly walk through the room, and if they get near someone, they will just randomly deal close to half the health in a single hit. Like that. And now is the time on Sprockets where we run. So now it's a race. Luckily, if you get a little ways away from them, they kind of give up the chase. Go to harass Leon or something. Whew, okay. I think we're all right. Everybody run! Eh? So that's the Nemesis. Bearer of the curse, meet carrier of the kettle. Don't stand in the pizza slices is a very important part of 14. It's true. It's one of the first things they really teach you in this game. I guess I could just use that myself, honestly. Astrodyne doesn't have to be perfect every time. Get away. At some point, the giant Bavarois is going to target somebody. I appreciate that the Final Fantasy series has taken the old like flan design and moved out from that to other like similar dessert confections. Easy peasy. Love that. Love that for us. What do we got? I should actually like roll on this stuff. Random loot. Random loot. Yep. Yep. Goopy ghost, yeah. Now we get the actual ghosts, which are the remnants of the people of Nim. Ah, bite-sized pudding. I don't have the pudding yet. Huh. We might get a minion out of this. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, tank. Oh, tank. I should start doing some gravity. Let's see. We can get better than that. No, we sure can't. It's fine. FF slimes have been named for desserts for a long time, probably owing to the black pudding from D&D. That makes sense. Oh, down you go, baby boy. There you go. This to you. Dang it, didn't get there in time. Oil. Well, do you want lab or do you not want lab? One of my favorite is the gelato from Girthless. Yeah. Lovely. Hi. Welcome back. Okay, careful. Yeah. King Tonberry. In we go. Right, I can't jump that rail for some reason. It's fine. This group has been wonderful. We lucked out at the start of the night. It's a good sign. Although honestly, I find I have just a lot of good groups in this game. Get our focus target going. Give me a full moon. Yes! The perfect Astrodyne. So Tonberries, if you're familiar with them from other Final Fantasy games, have the ability Everybody's Grudge, which usually powers up based on how many other Tonberries you've killed, or sometimes based on how many just enemies you've killed. Which in this one, the more of the Tonberries in this fight you kill, the more powerful the Tonberry King becomes. It becomes a little bit of a balancing act where you kind of don't want to just let all of the Tonberries wail on the tank, but the more of them you kill, the more powerful the Tonberry King becomes, so you're going to have to pick your poison. Oh, I love the monk gear with that little, like, sallet. Doop. Hooray! Some stuff. Alright. That went super quick. This is one nice thing about playing as a healer is that queues for dungeons in particular go very, very quickly. Now let's take that one out of the rotation. We'll leave everything else in there. Let's see what else we got. Alright. So this is the one that involves falling and... Oh, wait. There we go. This is the one that involves falling and kidnapping. It's also, I guess... There's definitely a warning for fire. I should be able to call most of the content warnings out for this one, because they're kind of right at the end. This one has, I think, somewhat deeper horror vibes than the one we were just in, which has the fun, like, Nemesis mechanic. But otherwise, it's just kind of a standard dungeon. This one, on the other hand... Oh, hello. I guess also a bug warning. Sorry, I forgot about that. Forgot about the weird fly jump scare in the opening cutscene. Loud Ninja. Red Male and Loud Ninja. What fantastic names. We got a Dragoon and we got a Dancer. So Astrologian draws cards, and at least in the current iteration, the cards come in buffs that either are optimized for ranged attackers or for melee attackers. Whoop! So the worst thing to happen to an Astrologian is to get into a group that is either both ranged or both melee, because half of your cards just won't be optimized for your damage. And we've been lucky that both of our groups so far have been a nice mix. Whoop! Because Dragoon is a melee class and Dancer is ranged. So no matter what card I get, it's going to go to somebody who can make the most use out of it. Woo! Jeez. Getting hard targeted here. Ooh, and the perfect Astrodyne off the bat. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Calling that a good sign. Alright. Hi, sweetie. Yeah, so I love that the first enemy we fight is called a Bodriga Usher, because this whole thing is essentially a cursed, non-consensual wedding? That'll make sense the deeper we get in. Woo! This tank is getting destroyed. Okay. Been very lucky to narrowly avoid. Normally I do kind of a mix of healing and damage. This time I'm just doing healing. Taking a little bit of time out of my day to buff the damage of everybody else. And that's it. Away we go. Mana back. Ooh, that was me. I heard my own yelp. Perfect. First boss. Hopefully, folks know how this one goes. This one's a little tricky. Didn't really have time to call it out because we just went straight in. Ooh. Nope, no, nope. Her. Only her. Nope, no, nope. Get them. Hooray. Woo. Dancer up. You being alive. Whew. Alright, good. They explained. Yeah. Yeah. The arrows take him out. Nope. Alright. And here. Alright. Well, we got there. So the first boss has all these zombies that spawn. And if we kill them, then it makes us more vulnerable to other attacks. Whereas if we let the rain of arrows kill them, then we're fine. But if people don't know that, the instinct, the natural instinct, is to just kill the zombies when they show up. That's you know, in any other dungeon, that's exactly what you would do. So it's a little bit of a trick boss, and it gets a lot of people the first time. Yep. Now we have to open all the coffins. You know, as you do. I appreciate that this warrior is going quick because it means we'll probably get another dungeon in. But it also means that they're going a little faster than I think their gear is allowing them. Oh boy. It's fine. No one's dead. Yeep. Why do I say things out loud? Time for gravity. Don't want that. Yeah, I'll give you this. That's right, Arthur. Alright. Yeah. Oh, there's nice blood writing on the wall. That's always good. Okay. Everyone some healing. I'm about to get walloped. Go. Lovely. Nope. So unparalyzed. Perfect. Hello? No, I'm the one who casts gravity. Stop that. Stealing my moves. That's terrifying. Right, we missed a coffin. Back we go. Whee! Wait for it. There we go. That's the sun I wanted to see. Okay. Good, good. This is going much more smoothly. We banish all the ghosts. And now we may proceed. I just realized that Loud Ninja is also a Dragoon. A Dragoon is like a Loud Ninja. There. There. Okay. Boss number 2. So, boss number 2 is Pyoreo, who is our unwilling groom. Or unwilling officiant? I can't remember exactly where he fits into all this. He's one of the kidnappees in this situation. And the spare body is exactly what it sounds like on the tin. And we are trying to keep these orbs from reaching him so that they don't blow him up. Okay, Arthur, you're not going to be able to climb all over me while we do this, bud. Oh, boy. There. We now have to put ourselves in harm's way. Oh boy. In the name of love. Or at least self-sacrifice. At some point we'll get the really big orbs. And we need to blow up very far away. Tank. Okay, good. The Dullahan is almost down. There. Alright. Paya is safe. Let me press on. So we're basically just disrupting a wedding. That's really what this is. Clank, clank, clank. I'm a ninja! Oop. Arthur, it's not unusual for you to force me to heal on hard mode, but adding the streaming element to this is new. Whoa. Okay. Oh boy, oh boy. We're gonna have to light speed this. This is bad. This is bad. When you use your strongest heal on a tank and their health doesn't go up, you know they're taking lots of damage. This is called overpulling. It's when you bite off more than you can chew. Ah, the Pisco Demon. The demon made of piss. That's not what it means. That. Get rid of all of these failed attempts at resurrecting her husband. Not to be confused with the Pico Demon, right? Hey. So here's our bride-to-be. And this is the groom he reassembled? He wanted to be a hero, and they were adventurers, and then he died, and this is her trying to bring him back. It's a whole thing. There's trauma. She did kind of bring him back, I guess. In the tradition of he came back wrong. Woo! Not that way. Now we take out all of the spare zombies. Nope, no, you stop that. Stop that, I say. No matrimony, more like metronomy. Keep our dots up on you, me. Healing up on everyone. This is fine. Woo! It was not fine, however. Don't worry about that. Are you shooting lasers at my tank? You're not allowed to shoot lasers at my tank. It's a fantasy game. I mean, it's a Final Fantasy game. They've always had lasers. Give you one of these. And do a big kaboom. So. Oh, yeah, there she goes. She's kind of weaponizing her trauma, and I don't hate that for her. I hate that for us. Oh, bud. Oh, you were in the wrong place. That's okay. Happens to the best of us. Just you. Oh, dear. Everybody get out. We did it! Now comes the falling and the set on fire thing. First he dies. Well, I mean, he was already dead. He goes back to being dead, which is probably for the best. Now comes the falling and the fire. So the good news is she comes back too? She also comes back wrong. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's fine. It's a whole thing. That's right, baby. I like that their story, because most of the dungeons are, like, their stories are self-contained, but Temtara, Deepcroft, the original, and then that was the hard version, and then finally the Palace of the Dead, which is a whole separate like deep dungeon thing, actually has like a contiguous story thread throughout them, which is rare. They don't really do it as much anymore, which I think is actually a little sad. Hi, sweetheart. Although it would have, to be fair, would have been hard to follow at the time. So maybe there's a reason they don't do it anymore. But it's just kind of neat to find a story that they come back to. Hi, how you doing? You forgot how to drink again, didn't you? Well, originally I was like, hey, you know, in a 90-minute stream, we'll get like a couple of dungeons. We got 2 done in a half hour, thanks to a recklessly fast tank. We might have to find some other spooky, scary skeletons. Some other scary dungeons to do. But we've still got a couple. And hey, there's a chance we might still get to... I kind of hope we do get to this one. It's just a funny one. Okay, one that we didn't instantly queue for is good. There's a sound effect in Destiny 2 that I think goes very well with the visual effect of the way in through which you cannot way out during this fight. Love it. Is it you're talking about like the purple barrier thing, the entrance to the boss arenas that locks you in? Thank you, Arthur, as always, for the copious amounts of fur. As soon as I bring him back from the dead, the wedding is back on. Yeah, so the diamond's going up and down. Yeah. Hi. How you doing? Yeah, you get snuggles until our Q pops. So Coca-Cola is on the... I can't remember the name of the whole data center. Wait, I do. It's Dynamis? I think it's Dynamis. Excuse me a second. Having a strange snuffy nose. Can't imagine why. Which is, I think, the newest North American data center. Which also means that it's the least populated data center, I think. Maybe not period, but certainly in North America. Which means that it has the longest queue time still. Because it's just the smallest population. Which has its advantages in other ways. Because it's just less crowded. Which is nice when there's new content that comes out. You don't have to worry about wrangling with nearly as many people. The downside of it is that when you're like queuing for dungeons, raids, that sort of thing, because you're not in the mix with hundreds of thousands of other people, you're not instantly queuing up with a whole bunch of other folks, which is a little bit of a downside. Worst case scenario, if we get jammed up hard trying to queue up for stuff, we can hop data centers, which is a relatively new feature they added and has been a godsend for getting through a lot of the main scenario quest stuff, which regularly requires that you do group stuff, which would be difficult to do otherwise. Although a lot of it you can do with NPCs now, which is nice. They've honestly just made the game a lot better. Even just in the 2 years that I've been playing, they've done some serious quality of life upgrades. It's nice. I like it. And right now we're just hanging out in the rain. Try to think if there's anywhere interesting to go on a Thursday night. Aha! Well, we can go to a haunted house. Oh yeah, what ward am I in at the moment? I'm getting so excited for the potential, knock on wood, of moving into our new free company house tomorrow that I'm already set to migrate my apartment. Hooray! So Hawk Manor is the, like, original haunted place. It's also kind of where Blinky comes from. Love this harpsichord. God, the stained glass, like, lighting on the stairs is so good. Hey look, Alice Night, and later it'll be Alice Night. Yes, we have to go in here. Another warrior, huh? Oh, right, I don't have my regen yet. We're so low level. Ah! So the stuff that we ran previously was all at level 50. Now we're essentially going back in time. 1 second. I'll tell you in a moment. Oh no, the thing happened. So we've been effectively de-leveled. Which means I don't have some of my abilities that I'm used to. Which is fine. It also means I don't have to worry about the different symbols anymore, which is kind of a relief. Dealing with a simpler part of our kit from a bygone era, because we're down at level 31 again now. It's gonna be interesting. Do I remember how to play this job at 31? There we go. But I'm so used to having my aspected benefic, and it's like, oh no, that doesn't exist at this level. Neither does Astrodine. It's fine. Oop. The universal MMO symbol of this way is to jump up and down. Also for hello and where do we go and So many other things. Do I have redraw at this level? I do. Okay. No, I don't. It's 40. At least I got my burst heal. Watch an astrologian relearn their tooltips in real time. Oh, we didn't get the key. Good, the Dragoon is going back for it. Unfortunately, I've also got 2 melee damage dealers, and I keep pulling ranged cards. It's fine. They still get a damage boost, they just don't get as high of a damage boost. Love this dress, though. It's all floopy. Gravity? Nope, gravity's 45. God, I have so much stuff I'm missing. It's fine. It's fine. I'm normal. It's fine. Five buttons in a dream. Whenever one of those cards appears over your head, my brain relabels you as an astrocartographer. You know what? I love it. I mean, Navigators go by the stars. I guess cartographers don't typically require them for map making. But there's an overlap there, you know? Still don't know what a clavinger is. I know what a clavicle is. Don't know what a clavinger is. I know that this one's a succubus. But I assume that that's probably not normal. I think I said earlier this was like a haunted mansion scenario. It's actually really more of a, like, demonic possession situation. Just maybe not a haunting in the classical sense. Woo! Kaboom! Get the green key. See, now it's a Resident Evil game. Gloves. We agreed on everything. The green key opens the green door. Well, it technically opens the ivy door. And the club key opens the... Why did I jump down? That was silly. Right, I don't have gravity. Gravity is my AoE attack. So I'm still stuck attacking one of these things at a time. Which is fine, we're not pulling big groups or anything. Just realized, yeah, we have a Lancer and a Dragoon, which is just the same job. Lancer levels up into Dragoon later. Just 2 Masters of Stick. Clavinger is a key bearer. Oh, right, of course. If I stopped to think about the root word, that would have made sense. Thank you. Anyway. You can tell the Dragoon is in a hurry. Luckily, this is a low enough level dungeon. We're not in, like, in any real danger. I get the sense that the tank is probably newer. They're pulling stuff that we can safely ignore. which is fine. Like, it's not causing any problems, and it's probably good practice, honestly, tanking. It's just little things that you kind of start to notice after a while of how to kind of guess who's been here before and who hasn't, who's new to their job and who isn't. Oh no. Final Fantasy series is responsible for my tendency to assume Dragoon means someone who can jump so high everyone else gets a turn or two before they land. I do love that they kept the jumps as a core mechanic in this one. They don't really leave the playing field. The jumps resolve pretty much immediately. But they do still do jumping as a main like damage mechanic later on, which is neat. It used to be somewhat problematically that the jumps also had a massive animation where your character would just like leave off the top of the screen and then come back. But it caused some minor issues when interacting with certain boss mechanics. So they kind of changed the way that the animation worked, so that your character kind of makes an animation like they're jumping and then just kind of ceases to exist for a moment and then reappears, as opposed to actually going up off the screen and then coming back, which was very funny. It's a subtle change. It kind of looks the same if you don't have your cursor on a Dragoon when it's happening, but there were a couple of abilities that if you had, like, Paladins have a thing called cover, which allows them to protect somebody else, but it puts a tether on that character. And if you were a Paladin who was covering a Dragoon and the Dragoon jumped, you would watch the tether go, whee! And then come back down. That doesn't happen anymore. Which is a bit of a shame, because it was very comedic. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad they added this. So the ethereal flow here warps us back to the start of the dungeon. Before they added this, it used to be people would get to the end of this boss and they would use the return function, which outside of dungeons takes you back to whatever aetheryte you've set as your home location. Inside of a dungeon, it takes you back to the start of a dungeon, but you almost never use it to do that. This was the one dungeon where people realized that rather than backtracking through the dungeon or taking kind of a weird door around, it was faster to just hit the return, come back to the base of the stairs, and then run up, because now you could actually just go up the stairs and fight the Manor Sentry. But because that was a thing that players had figured out on their own as a shortcut, as opposed to actually built into the dungeon, newer players would suddenly watch half of the party just vanish and go, where did everybody go? Well, they're going to run in without the healer. So they finally, the developers came back in and just added an actual official teleport to the end of that second boss. Which was honestly lovely. Like I said, they've added a whole bunch of very good quality of life things. Let's get you unpetrified. And that's why you don't go in without your healer. There we go. So this is the Lady of the Manor, who has also been turned into a demon. Turn away. Lovely. Whoop, let's get you healed up. Perfect. There's enough dungeons where half the party can vanish and new players don't know where they went. Yeah. This one was particularly notorious, but you're not wrong. There's plenty where it kind of happens unofficially, where people can just take a turn. And this one's layout with all the corridors and doors that you no longer actually need is already maze-like enough, whereas a lot of other dungeons, it's more linear. This one and, it's better now, but the original Stone Vigil was also particularly tough on tanks, because it was all about knowing, like, which rooms were safe to ignore. Which, I mean, there was no way to know. Eh, we don't need a card. Goodbye card. Ooh, we got some police. We got some soft down. After the Black Mage and Red Mage quest, I'm not sure if she became a Void Scent or if one is just wearing her body like a spacesuit. Yeah, that's a good question. Given the lore of how Void Scent work in Final Fantasy XIV, that's maybe the worms in the sun now. Maybe the worms in the sun know. Yeah, man, Ghost Song was a great game. I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say later, much later on in the main scenario quest, they get further into how the Void and the Void Scent work and interact with each other and interact with the things of this dimension, essentially. And I like it. I like the lore of how all of that interacts. But the Black Mage questline is kind of the first taste and the first world building around that. But they come back to it later and kind of expand on it. And we have half an hour left. Let's see if we get Siren Song C, or by luck and happenstance, if we get the Sigmascape would be great, honestly. It's just fun. If we don't get it in 5 minutes, I've got an idea. I've got an idea for something fun to end on instead. Now, what was I thinking of? I was thinking of places we could head. So there. Well, first we need to scoop up a cat, obviously. Hello. We've already got another damage player, which is nice. So there's always the gold saucer. There's always money in the banana stand. Hey, Speed Boy. Which, I mean, this is essentially a temple to capitalism, which is scary enough. It's also a great way to kill time while you're waiting on anything to queue. I love the big Moogle mural. Just the aesthetic of this place in general is amazing. Don't have any gates currently going on. We could try to punch Gilgamesh really hard. Always a fun pastime. What do you think, Arthur? Which way am I? Trying to figure out where I'm going in here. Like a real casino, the Golden Saucer is built circuitously, like it's trying to keep you in. They really did design this place with genuine care towards making it seem like its real-life counterparts. But at least you can play virtual basketball. Damn. Hooray! No, no. Right, one shot, one opportunity. Nope. Hey, buddy. Eh. Eh. It's a 1. Let's see if we can go for 5. Alright. Crap. No. I felt so good. Ah, maybe. Alright, we got 3. We're improving. Ah, 2, that were so close. Curses. That was bold, and I knew it. Nah. Hooray! Hooray! Alright, at least we got 3. I always feel good getting the first one. Now it's a streak. Damn. Streak over. There we go. Hey, we got the 4. What did I say? 5 minutes? Coming up on it. And we've lost our damage friend. It's finally quiet. Long enough for the music to register, and now my brain is about 20 years ago. Yeah. It's such a cool little thing. Genuinely surprised that they're apparently adding freaking Fall Guys to this next week. That's going to be wild. Going to be very silly. Alright. I think our otherwise wonderful Hugh luck has run out. We are going to make a small change. Because we are small and we need to change. We visit another data center. And to keep it creepy, we're going to go to the server of Diabolos. Mostly because that's where my other character is. But I needed a good excuse. Okay, as fun as a ghost ship would be. Kind of want to do the idea I had for, like, a mean one. Weird random thought, I bet it wouldn't be hard to convince someone who'd never heard of it that Toad in the Hole was a variant of Whack-A-Mole. Yeah, I mean, going by the name. Also, man, now I want egg and toast. Thank you, Arthur. Now I am thoroughly covered. He's a sweet cat. But he is floofy. Alright. Now then. Raids. Let me show you what I had in mind, assuming that there's anyone queuing for this tonight. Wearing just a... That's just a, like a... It's just a, like, circular chainsaw on a stick. Fantastic. You go to the beach. wonder if it's nighttime anywhere. Keep finding it where it's raining, which is not particularly Halloween-y. Get a quarry mill. We're just going to bounce around for a moment to see if we can find somewhere the nice kind of... Nope, sunshine and rainbows. Ooh, Thanalan. Thanalan always has some good... I mean, a place called Camp Drybone, right? That's got to have some good Halloween vibes. Give me a nice night sky. Again with the rain. Although, geez, this is like proper stormy weather at least. Look at that. Yeesh. Alright. Well. Blue frog? It's always true you're blue frog. Yeah, I mean it's got a kind of a dark and foggy evening aesthetic going on here. I mean that's mostly pollution, but we can pretend it's fog. It's got a it's got a vague like Castlevania sort of vibe to it. Sure. Use this as our backdrop. Somebody riding by on a Spriggan. Very good. Just hang out here. Yeah, the fog is nice. It is actually foggy. Excellent. Love that. Sometimes there's what appears to be weather in a zone, and then there's actual, like, official weather. And the two don't always line up. So it's, yeah, it's nice when they do. Love that. Love that for us. Now we wait. And pray. And scritch cat. Are there any other spooky trials and raids? I guess if this doesn't work out, we could go on a giant haunted coffin ship. That's probably a whether or not system. That's very good. It's very good. Also accurate. We're on Diablos. We could fight Diablos. It's a giant dinosaur skeleton in western Upper Lemnos. Yeah, it's a good point. Forgotten Springs also has kind of like a desolate desert vibe. We could go there and take out our mummy's little mummy. Queue up for Sunken Temple of Karn. There's a lot of options. There's a lot, you know. We could get into like the sub-genres of horror. And that gets us all kinds of things. Like, you know, Siren Song Sea is haunted ghost ship, so we're already into like pirate horror at that point. Heh. Bahamut raids are existential horror for a whole different reason. We don't need to get into it. I don't know that there's any real horror in the Alexander raids. They're very good, but the horror, no. Alright, I think Void Ark is going to be our primary backup here if this doesn't pop soon. Evilise, not really much on the horror vibes. Let's see. Any of the earlier... Well, that one's fighting a beholder in like basically a ruined church. It's like a D&D horror one-shot. That's a bit of a stretch. This is a haunted painting. That's kind of neat. Fight an evil clown. It's a bit Stephen King, but you know. We get stuck, we have options, that's what I'm saying. Oh! Hooray! Just in time. Let me show you my idea. For fans of Final Fantasy VI, we are about to fight the Phantom Train. We can't suplex it, which is a damn shame. Don't worry about the baby chocobo. That's the whole thing. We'd take too long to go into it. That's the thing that matters. I love that they kept all the, like, they 3D-ified the ghost designs from FF6 for this. Let's go ahead and just give you a flower. My uptime! Hopefully we'll get the spotlight. Hopefully they will take out the ghosts. Whoop. A bubble! Oh, it's so nice to have all my abilities back. Summoner. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Good. Perfect. Like a well-oiled machine. Not like that train. Different well-oiled machine. That's gonna hit the tanks. Lovely. Woo! Oh, no ghosts. Just to... Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Grab your partner, do-si-do. Kaboom! Okay. Sprint! Drop it. Drop it. Thank you. Alright, you get that. You get this. Acid Rain! I think it was one of its abilities, actually, in 6. Kill the haunted passengers. Woo! Jump aboard. We go from rooftop to rooftop. Sprint. And we attack the Doom Chimney. I love this fight. So now, we have to get grabbed by a ghost. Get grabbed by the ghoulies. Into a passenger car. And 1v1 a ghost. Give myself the juice. That's right, Arthur. I want to say one of the 8 people gets Gilgamesh, but I might be wrong. And then they just don't have to fight. Oh dear. Ghost incoming. Avoid the lights, avoid the ghosts. Oh dear. R.I.P. Grand Mushroom. It's fine, they'll be back. Woo, we did it. So yeah, I wanted to do Doom Train, because, yeah. Some of the fights in this game are just absolute naked fan service, and that's one of them. Sorry, you're right, Siegfried. I was thinking Gilgamesh, but you're right, it's Siegfried. Why would I skip that? So it's just a little nod. You guys gonna have the stuff if you want it. Enjoy. Excellent. Well, that was delightful, but we still have enough time. Hi. For a little more. Oh, apparently this is just outside of the sanctuary. I have time for one more. But this one will require being a little higher level. Wait, that's the wrong button. This button. Hi. You ready for a grand finale? Yeah? For this, we must become a cat. Arthur, are you ready to become a cat? It's the role of a lifetime. He's used to this. He's regularly trying to be a lap cat while I'm trying to heal. So this is just return to, you know, the usual. Alright. Thank you very much, Joe. Alright. We'll get our carbuncle, who is secretly not a carbuncle. Let's make sure that... Definitely want the music all the way up for this one. It's almost the most important part of this fight. Let's see, I think it's this one. It is this one. And hopefully we won't have too long of a queue time. We're gonna end this one on a banger. It still fits our overall horror theme of the night, the Halloween theme. But I'll be real, I'm mostly doing this one for the fantastic music. It's also a pretty good fight, but it's for the music. It's not an MSQ spoiler. This is one of the side raids for much later in the game. It's all optional content stuff, and there's no story stuff happening in it. But the song is just so damn good. It does involve snakes, and there is one mechanic that has us just randomly vomiting. So this is where that content warning comes in. So... I'm bringing it back for the finale. It's our big, gross finish is where this is going. And hopefully I remember how to do this fight, because it's been a few weeks. Hey, you know, we haven't fallen on our faces all night. So why not go out on a win? For the boss. Whenever fandom at large says that, we keep racking our brains trying to remember what job class shortens to MSQ. Fair. Yeah, it took me the longest time to figure out that, like, main scenario quest was MSQ. And now it's become second nature, but yeah, it was one of many acronyms. The one that still trips me up is the difference between raid and alliance raid. Especially as somebody who spent most of my time in MMOs in World of Warcraft, where there was just raids, and they were of different size. And then to come to Final Fantasy XIV, where you have raids, which are 8-person content, and broken up into like 3 blocks of 4 floors each. So you have essentially like 12 chapters in 3 books is a raid. And then you have the Alliance raid, which is 24 people getting together to do essentially 3 mega dungeons in a series. And I'm sitting there going, all right, so you've got raids and you've got alliance. I'm just going to call those alliances. Except alliance means a different thing. It's the terminology still causes me to get a little tongue-tied from time to time. And then there's dungeons, and then there's trials, and sometimes they overlap in terms of the number of people and the type of content and how they're orchestrated. It sounds more confusing describing it than when you're actually doing it, but boy, it sounds confusing when you're describing it. Need to introduce a 48-person dungeon and call it a horde raid. Yo. Bleh. Just call it a smorgasbord. They have added in now this thing called variant dungeons, which are dungeons that you can do with any number of 1, 2, 3, or 4 people, and the content scales to the number of people there. And no matter what job you are, you can essentially assign yourself player actions. So if you're one of the damage jobs, you can give yourself a heal and like a resurrect action. So you can go in as a rogue with buttons off to the side that let you heal and raise. So that if you're just 3 damage people, you can all still like heal and resurrect each other without having to switch jobs. Which lets you send any composition you want into these variant dungeons. And then they're set up to have like different paths, and then each path has branching options and little clues that let you figure out different endings. So there are like 12 total endings across 3 paths. They've been incredibly fun, and they all have their own stories, which I hope that we get more, because they're just a very fun way to kind of get back to the sort of stuff, kind of like what we've been running tonight with Wanderer's Palace and Tamtaro Hard, where when the game first came out, when people got to level 50, which was the original level cap, the game kind of stalled there for the longest time, so they made a lot of optional dungeons at 50, and they were also getting really creative with dungeon mechanics. Some of them worked, some of them less so, but they were really throwing stuff at the wall, so there's a lot of originality in the width there. And then they streamlined it more later, which was good for the like core trunk of the required dungeons. But for the side optional stuff, it got less weird after that. And the variant dungeon kind of lets them get weird again. So I like that they're bringing that back, and I hope they keep doing it. They've done 2 so far. They've got another one that's coming out, I think, end of the year. So, and the dev team has talked about really enjoying them, so I hope that we see more of those. Went from Ultima to EverQuest to MapleStory to WoW to Mabinogi to Champions to Final Fantasy XIV. So change of terminology is at least something I'm used to. I had a much shorter run where it was basically just WoW. I dipped into City of Heroes for like a month. Sorry, the song is just very, very good. But I basically just went straight to WoW and stayed there entirely too long. You can stay in a bad game for a very long time for friends. This one, I played for a long time on my own, and now I'm getting to really enjoy with friends, which is the best of both worlds. good. Everybody shielded up. Oh no. Vomit mechanic. Got 9 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Stays the same. And then she's gonna do orbs. Whoops, she's going that way. Oh no. Oh, she starts that way. Crap. We're in trouble. Fine, we only got hit once. Woo-hoo-hoo. That was risky. It's okay. Oh, paired up with the Sage. Double shield healers. Love it, love it, love it. Just noticed that the boss did a massive AoE and no one took any damage. Delicious. Which way is she going? Oh, that way. Flap. Shield everyone up. Go ahead and hit us. Go. Tank busters. There we go. Oh, that's gonna hit everybody. Love it. This is the switcheroo. Alright, so if that one goes there and that one goes there, this should be fine. Sure. Hooray! Love getting that right, it makes me feel so smart. Okay, corners. So here. Big damage. Come back with a real AoE. That was mean. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry, Hegemony. Love that limit break. Woo, love it. What a good group. We had good groups all night. Love it, love it, love it. Oof. She's kind of got a Eddie and Zato kind of a vibe. Now I need to take a shower because I got barfed on. Well, and right on time. Boss comes back with a real AoE. No, I didn't mean it. That has happened so many times in alliance raids where I have talked shit on voice and then immediately would get flattened, and friends have been like, why did you say anything? And it's I don't learn. I don't learn. Y'all have watched the stream, you know, I don't learn. Thank you all so very much for coming and hanging out. This has been delightful. Like I said, this was a one-off. This is just a fun kind of a filler. But yeah, we got to do some scary dungeon stuff and raids and things. Some very Halloweeny the thing doodles, which was lovely. So fingers crossed. We'll be back Monday with Alan Wake 2, which comes out tomorrow. And so far, it sounds like it's good. Hopefully, everything I've got will be able to run it. We'll find out tomorrow. But yeah, so that's the plan. I really enjoyed Alan Wake. I really enjoyed American Nightmare. And I really enjoyed Control. So, right, Alan Wake 2, the sequel to the DLC for Control, exactly. So, yeah, this one has promise, so I'm excited. But that's Monday. Saturday, I'm also planning on doing a Gunpla build. Talked about this forever ago, but also in keeping with the season, I picked up a long time ago a Gundam Death Scythe, which means a lot to me as a person who was a teenager when Gundam Wing came out. Talk about it Saturday. But yeah, that and everything else on the schedule is at schedule.truck.community, where you can find our whole stream team schedule and what they're up to on what days at what times. And yeah, all of that nonsense. And a lot of it is very good. And speaking of very good, here in just a little bit, I believe Alice is going to be playing more Final Fantasy, keeping the train going with Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. So we'll toss her way here in just a moment. Yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you all so much again. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will hope to see you next time. Good night, everybody.